Welcome to RPG Ranked, the channel where all your favorite RPGs are ranked.
What's up, everybody? Back for another RPG video. This is Brighton from RPG Ranked. This is Brighton. I'm here. Like, why am I saying I am Brighton? Not this is Brighton. Anyway, whatever. Seth will not be here again for this video because, like in some of my other videos, Seth has not played Thousand Year Door. And, I mean, he's just as much a part of this channel as I am. But since he has not played this game, I am ignoring him again. And it's 3 a.m. I'm making this right after that other FF9 video. But, like, it's 3 a.m. still. And Seth shouldn't be awake. So, anyway. We are going to start... We're not going to start from, like, how this is in order. I'm going to start from the worst and then go up. So, first... So, I have these tiers, so just, I don't know, I thought it'd be fun to name them after some of the characters in this game. But, so this is, I don't even really have to explain this. Like, this is like S tier, A tier, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So, and yes, I do use E tiers because, you know, it's good to have more. Or you could say S plus, S, A, B, C, D, F. That's more natural. Anyway, that's what people do. So, we're going to start from the worst badge in the game, and that for sure is Slow Go. Dang it. There we go. Sorry. Slow Go is just worthless. It literally makes you slow. The only time I think you could ever utilize this is there's this one, like, balance beam part in the final dungeon, and if you really suck at balance beams, you can make yourself go slower and maybe make it easier. I can't think of any other use for this badge. And that's even a stretch. Like, this badge sucks. So, yeah, we're there. And then we have... Next, we have... Sorry, I'm looking at my article that I wrote for RPGrank.com as I rank this. So, I mean, there's 85 badges. It's kind of hard to remember. So, we have Attack FXY is next. And these next few are just based off the sound. So, we have Attack FXY, Attack FXG, and Attack FXP. So these are all in the garbage tier. There is no point of these badges. They just make you sound cool when you attack, and I think that the pink one sounds the coolest of these three. That's completely subjective, so it's not a big deal, but I just ranked them in order of that. So yeah, those are not very good, obviously, but they're fun, and yeah. So next we have... And yes, these two, the red and the blue ones, are not going with those, and I'll explain why later. Next, we have the L emblem. I love looking like Luigi. I always equip this. Like, I like Luigi way better than Mario. I don't know why. You know, I'm going to put Mario tier down here, and I'm going to put Luigi tier, because Luigi is an amazing character. I love Luigi. Like, he actually has character, like in Super Smash Bros. And like in like Luigi's Mansion. He is a character. Mario's just like an icon. Like, he has like no development. Except in... Now, they're both good in Mario and Luigi, like Partners in Time and stuff. But like, I don't know why I mentioned Partners in Time specifically. But in that franchise, Mario's better. But like, I mean, he's still not that great. And I like being Luigi better. Anyway, on that note, the W emblem's also going to be up here. Now... This one makes you look like Wario. That's awesome. Now, what my favorite thing to do is equip both of them at the same time and you become Waluigi. And that looks really cool. So these are good, but yeah. Now we have the next. I hate this badge. Peekaboo is like... Other than Slow Go, I kind of just hate this badge. It kind of has a point, but why? Like, just use Tattle. And this is like... I mean, if you hate using the Tattle ability, I guess this badge is nice. But you have to use... BP for this badge, and it's just worse than Tattle, because if you use this, you don't know if you've even tattled the person yet, and then it's just like, what is the point of this badge? It's just a waste of badge points. Anyway, so now we're moving on to the Mario tier, because Mario's boring and it doesn't have any development, and Peach is great in this game. I love Peach in this game, not as much as these other characters, but... And, yeah, anyway. So, we have the Simplifier badge. This badge is bad, because why simplify your commands and get less star points? I mean, there's very few commands in this game that are very hard to execute, like spring jump or something. Like, that's the hardest one in the game, like spring jump. And why even use that when you have things like power bounce or even like just power jump? Just not really, or multi-bounce. Just there's not really a reason to ever use simplifier, because there's nothing that's very hard to use in the game. And yeah, HP drain P. Where is this? It makes you do less damage, and it makes you heal like 1 HP back every time you attack. It's so stupid. Like, there's no point of that. Like, just heal. Like, use an item. Or like, use Sweet Treat. Like, which is amazing. Like, use Sweet Treat instead of wasting your damage output for this. Anyway. Next we have Chill Out. I don't even know what Chill Out looks like. Chill Out. Where is it? It's that weird looking, like, sorry. Chill Out. I know what it looks like. It's just, where? Bruh. Where are you, Chill Out? Oh, there it is. There we go. I don't even know what this does, honestly. Oh, it prevents a first strike? Yeah. You can do that. Use Vivian. Jump. Like, don't suck. I mean, yes, enemies will first strike you from time to time. But there are better badges to equip. Come on. If you're good, then you can just... There's no point in this badge. Anyway, that took a while to find, and that's stupid. And so that's kind of stupid that it took forever. Let's see. Bump attack. I think it's the blue one. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the bump attack, you walk into somebody and it kills them. But it's only for weaker enemies. And it literally costs so much bash points. Like, why would you use this when you can just kill an enemy? I don't understand. First attack, same deal. It's less BP and it's still stupid. It's just really dumb. Because, I mean, this one I think you have to jump on them or hammer them. This one just walk into them. But, like, no. It's so bad. It's so stupid. Then we have Happy Heart P. You have, like, 1 million partners by now in this game. I don't even remember how much. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 7 partners in this game. You don't need to heal 1 HP per turn. You have 7 partners. If they die, they're dead, and you can replace them. And I just don't see why you should use Happy Heart P when you can heal them with Sweet Treat or just swap out another partner. Like, it's just dumb. Next, we have HP Drain. This one's a little bit better because Mario doesn't die. Like, if he dies, it's game over. So, like, I can possibly see someone maybe using this badge for a little bit, like, earlier in the game. But still, it's like 1 HP. It's better than these because the partners don't need HP. Really. But Mario might have some use from this badge. It might. Like, it still sucks, though. It's not very good. I don't know. Pity Flower is next. And I don't know, like... If you get hit, you just get FP. At least FP is harder to get than HP, so it's a little bit better than HP Drain. But, like, this doesn't even work every time you get hit, and it's just pitiful. It's in the name, Pity Flower, pitiful. It's bad. FP Drain is better. I actually used FP Drain for a tiny bit. When I was using really high FP attacks, and I was trying to... I used it for, like, a couple of battles, and it wasn't super bad, but it wasn't good either. Where is it? There's so many patches, it's so hard to find these things. FP Drain, it looks like this, I'm sure it does. Oh, there it is. Boom. It's better than Pity Flower, since at least you can control it, but, like, you're doing less damage. All the good badges make you do more damage, not less damage. So that's just dumb. Then we have Feeling Fine P. Feeling Fine itself is already pretty, like, bad. And I mean, it's not bad. It's just it uses like a lot of badge points just to prevent some status ailments. And if you just swap out your partner, then yeah, I mean, in a boss fight, sometimes you might want this. I think there's some boss fights that, some battles, I think like there's some like poison enemies that this is nice for. But even still, it's just for a very situational. It's very, very, very situational. And it's better to just swap out your partner in most cases. So it's not that good. Next we have Tornado Jump. It is so sad that this is this bad. Because it doesn't scale. Like, once you start getting to do more damage, it doesn't scale. This ability looks so cool. Like, I just wish this was one of the best abilities in the game because it's awesome. It looks cool, but there's no point in using it because it just doesn't do a lot of damage. It doesn't scale to your other things like literally every other jump does. And it only like hits flying enemies, I think. No, not only hits flying enemies. It allows you to hit flying. But anyway, you get my point. It's just not a very good ability. Sad. Then we have Happy Heart. Happy Heart is probably the first one on this tier that isn't bad, but it's not good enough to go any higher. It's not bad, but by the end of the game, there are infinitely better badges to be using, and it's just, you can, at the very beginning of the game, when you get it over by, around the time of Hooktail's castle, like, this thing is great, because you only have, like, 10 HP or 15 HP at that time, so this helps a lot, but it's still, like, if it scaled to your health, like, if it was a percentage thing, like, oh, heal, like, 20% of your health every time, that would be good, every turn. Like, if you had, like, 80 health, and it would heal, like, it would, I mean, it could be nice. It could be a good way to, like, add on to, like, using Sweet Treat, but, or Sweet Feast later in the game. But it's just, it's weak. Soft Stomp. Which one is this? It's one of these two. I feel really stupid right now. Let me look it up. Soft Stomp. Okay, it's that one. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. So Soft Stomp is not great. I mean, all of the high defense enemies, most of them have spikes anyway. So, like, using Soft Stomp is not the best thing to do when you could just kill an enemy with something else. Like, if you're going to be trying to attack a high defense enemy, bring in Yoshi. Or use something, or like even Miss Mouse can like slap them and ignore defense. I just don't think there's a point of using this. I mean, it's not bad, but there's not a point of using this over other badges. Next is Shrink Stomp, which still feels stupid. I mixed them up. But Shrink Stomp, just use like Power Bounce or something. Like, it's better. Like, Shrink Stomp, I don't think there's a point. And if you really want to shrink enemies, Mini Egg is far superior option. Okay, now we have Attack FXR. Why am I putting it this high? It lets you beat... Blech. It's the cricket one. It lets you beat not Cricktail, Hooktail. There we go. Hooktail easier. It lets you beat Hooktail easier. And because of that, it's a pretty good badge. Like, it's not bad at all. It's good. It's a nice badge. But it's not... I mean, we're still pretty low, but, like, we're still, like, a lot of badges in at this point, so it's not that bad. Then we have Feeling Fine, which Mario getting a status ailment's a lot worse than if a partner does, because you can't just swap Mario out. It doesn't work that way. Now, like I said, it's still situational. It's not great, so I can't put it any higher. Then we have Double Pain. Double Pain is funny. It literally makes the game harder for you. It's like a hard mode. Let me find Double Pain. There we go. And I have a funny story with Double Pain, because me and my dad were reading the description of Double Pain from the walkthrough, the Prima Games walkthrough. I think it's Prima Games. The walkthrough, and it's like doubles the damage that Mario takes. So we read that as like takes as in deals. So we were like, dang, for 0 BP, we were so confused back then. So I was like putting this on, and I was wondering why the game was hard. It makes it twice as hard, and it's like, It's mostly that thing you could do with this badge, and it's just funny because like I lost to Cortez like 3 times when I played this game for the first time when I was like 7, and I was wondering what was so hard, and my dad beat it still. He beat it for me because I couldn't figure out why it was so hard. And then we realized that we had double pain on. I don't know why we didn't realize the 0 BP dealing double damage would be like the best thing in the game. But it's just we were dumb. But like double pain's not great. Now the reason that it's above all these other badges is because if you use it with the next badge on this list, return postage, if I can find it for heaven's sakes. Where is return postage? There it is. If you use it with return postage, you can double the damage return postage deals because the enemy is dealing it to Mario and you hit it right back. Now the problem with return postage, it could be pretty top tier, but it's way too much BP. It's really hard to get, and it's only half the damage. But if you use this, anytime, let's say someone does 8 damage to you, it's going to do 8 damage back to them. And that can be really good, but you get it so late in the game, you have to beat like the pit of 100 trials for this. Which can be nice if you still have something, like if you're still grinding, or if you still have... But then even a really good player will guard or super guard anyway. So you can do... How I like to play this game is I like to upgrade badge points a ton and then FP. So by the time I was fighting the final boss, I didn't have 10 health like I had for the most of the game, because that wouldn't be good enough for the final boss, but I had 20 health for the final boss. I guarded and super guarded. I don't want return postage, because that's just risky, and I don't like that. And I'd rather just use other badges over these two. Next we have Head Rattle. This is like a weaker version of Vivian's Infatuate. It's just like some of these other ones, I don't see really a point in using it. But if you are weak and you want to cause enemies to attack each other, 3 a.m. like I said. Well, now it's like 4. But anyway, Head Rattle, it uses it on all enemies, which I think makes it better than these two. And it's good if you suck and aren't dealing any damage, so you can cause enemies to attack each other. But like Vivian's Infatuate is better, and there are much better commands. So next we have Attack FXB. This badge lets you get Miss Mouse in your party. Miss Mouse is not very great, but this is still just like this badge doing that. I still think that allowing you to get Miss Mouse is better than all these other things. And I think that, like, I mean, if you, that's kind of weird for me to, like, say that this gives you Miss Mouse, because it doesn't, like, that's not all, you have to, like, climb the tower and so I think this is a really weird, these Attack FX ones, they give you Miss Mouse and help you beat Hooktail, just have one thing, and I don't really know if it's fair to even rank them higher than these other ones, but anyway. Then we have the last one in this tier, and it is Lucky Day. Again, I can't remember. I think it's the red one. Let me look. Lucky Day. Oh gosh, of course that's not. That was on your door. Dang it! What color is it? No, you're not going to show me. Green. Green. Okay, it's green. Nice. We're good. Okay, this is the green one. So we got the Lucky Day. This is not bad. It's really good, but you get it on the 90th floor of the Pit of 100 Trials, and it costs 7 BP, which is way too much. Like, even for what this badge can do. I mean, if you give this badge and you get this, whatever the one that, I don't even know what it is. The, Feeling Lucky, I think it's what, I don't know, whatever the badge is called. Whatever it is, it's good. If you combine these two and you have like close call, you can make like yourself an evasion tank. But I still don't really see why you would put this any higher, because it's just so hard to get. Okay, now we're moving on to the Peach tier. Finally, we have Ice Smash. Ice Smash, it inflicts ice, which is good, and it costs 3 FP, which for costing 3 FP, like I could use something way better for 3 FP. So I don't think the Ice Smash... I mean, Ice is one of the better status ailments in the game. One of the best. But any hammer is going to go lower on this list because I personally find using Jumpman to be more useful than most hammers. Most, remember, emphasis on most. But Ice Smash is just, I don't know why you would use Ice Smash instead of using something better. So next we have Charge. Charge is not great, and some people think it's like this amazing command, but it costs FP. And you could, it's a fun badge to use. Yeah, if you use like Charge and Power Lift and Hot Sauce and a bunch of attack boosting badges, you can do a bunch of damage. But you could just, instead of using Charge, you could just attack and do more. I mean, Charge can be good if you need to charge up, because if you need to deal more damage to get your damage over an enemy's defense earlier in the game, like a cleft or something, you could charge up and then jump on it and then or hammer it, and you could do enough damage to actually deal damage. But even then, you can use like Earth Tremor or something that ignores, or you can use like Piercing Blow or something, and just I don't know. I just don't think why you would use this instead of just attacking. Charge P, same deal. I think charging as a partner is a little more helpful because Mario's a lot more powerful, and I think that like charging and then using something like Multibounce can be nice. But I don't know. I think it's a little bit better than Charge, but it's still not good. Super Appeal. Now, I actually use the Appeal command a lot because I revolve a lot around getting star points, especially for like Sweet Treat and stuff. But in most cases, just doing stylish commands will get you plenty of star points. And, I mean, I appeal a lot, but still, these are... I mean, like, looking at this, we still have so many good badges, even though we have so many tiers left. And that's just because how this game works. There's so many badges, and a lot of them are pretty balanced. So we've already got past the completely garbage ones. And I think that Super Appeal P is better because appealing with partners. Like I said, there's always something to do with Mario, whereas not the same with partners. So yeah, Unsimplifier. This is just like Simplifier, but the other way around. It gives you more star points, but you don't have to. Sorry, I am tired. It gives you more star points, but you do not have to actually use appeal for it, and it just allows you to stylish better. So that's good. Money. This badge costs 5 BP, and it's really hard to get. You have to get a bunch of Piantas or pay for it. So it's really hard to obtain, but going through the pit of 100 trials and running money, it can guarantee you to get all these other badges, and just it gives you a lot of coins using this badge, and I think it's pretty good. I think getting a lot of coins is good because you can get like fire flowers, and you can get like, because getting coins in 1,000 Year Door is hard, like literally hard. Same with like Super Paper Mario. I mean, in like Sticker Star, getting coins is a breeze. But in this game, it's just hard to get the coins you need. So I just don't, yeah. So I think it's good, but not great because it's hard to get and all that crap. P down, D up, P. I don't even know, is it the green one or the... I need to do my research before this. I think it's the green one. I'm pretty sure it's the green one. Yep. Okay. Sorry, I need to remember these things. So it's the green one, right? And so this is good for buffing defense, but it just lowers your attack. And yes, it's dirt cheap. So I think there's some, I've used this badge before, but I like to play a snappy offensive style and deal as much damage as I can because I have 10 health throughout the entire game. That's how I like to play this game. So I want to kill the enemies as fast as possible and then use Sweet Treat to heal my health back. And with my playstyle, I don't like to use this badge because I'd rather just kill them with high attack than defense. And I can guard and super guard and just ignore damage anyway. So I think that this badge it's good. It works for a certain play style, but and especially on partners, it's not that great because you can just swap them out even if they die. So, and same deal with defense plus P. You don't need to buff your partners. It's just that your partners can be doing better things. Like if they die, you can move on to your next partner. And this one, it sacrifices your attack, and this one costs like infinity BP. So I just don't think it is. And partners don't really need a lot of defense, so I don't really see why. And then Pretty Lucky P is I would rather evade than have to deal with. Rather evade attacks sometimes than use defense. I just like evasion in games better than defense, even if it's more risky. So I like this better. Then we have damage dodge P. It's just like better than Pretty Lucky P. It just guarantees less damage on you, and it's nice. So these are not. Now I'm questioning why I ranked HP plus P. I mean, actually, no, never mind. So, the thing about HP plus P that makes it better than these badges, this one cost a whopping 5 BP, I think. Or something. 4 or 5, or maybe even 6. Something like that. Where this one, HP plus P, let me find it. Where is it? Is it nowhere? Oh wait, it's right there. Oops. I put the wrong... that doesn't... Oops. That's embarrassing. I don't know why that was there. But this right here, it gives you 35 HP for 6 BP, essentially. Because it gives each of your partners extra HP. And I think that is better than, like, damage dodge. And these ones... because it just gives you, like, it essentially gives you a whole nother partner in terms of HP. Because, like, partners have, like, 35 health. So I think it's good. I think this one is better. I still don't think it's great, but this one will go in the Bowser tier. I'll get there in a second. But before that, we have, we're in the Bowser tier now. Officially, we have Last Stand P, which... oh my gosh, I don't even know what this one looks like. Last Stand P. There we go. Okay, it is that one. So, Last Stand P, right here. Bowser tier. It is nice if you're using a danger partner or peril partner setup. But yeah, it's just... that's really all. And same with Close Call P. Just... again, you can swap out your partners. That's such a thing. That's such a big deal for so many of these badges. Because if you... let's say you could only use one partner per battle, these would be invaluable badges. But you can swap them out. So it's not a big deal. Lucky Start is a nice badge. It lets you... I think it's the red one, I'm pretty sure. Lucky Start, it gives you invincibility, HP, FP, or electrocution at the start of the battle. I think it's nice. There's always a good... like... I'm not complaining if I start the battle with one of those things. It's still not that great, though. I'd rather have something else. Why? This might as well just be called all yawns ranked at this point. This is stupid. Hammer Throw. I don't think this is as bad as some people say it is. But I think it's not great damage-wise. It doesn't work with Jumpman. But it has the novelty of being one of 2 attacks, I think one of 2, that can hit those like really high flying enemies like Rock Hawk and that swoop thingamabobby, swoops or whatever that you fight in Chapter 4. And it lets you hit flying enemies with your hammer. And it also, I think that means it lets you hit spiked enemies without... and I mean, there is a much better thing, Spike Shield, for that. But... just Hammer Throw isn't as bad as some people say, and it has the novelty of being able to hit any enemy on screen, which not anything other things can't do. Okay, next we have the refund badge, and some people think this is like a garbage badge, and I do not understand why. Some people have this in like F tier, and I don't know why. Because the refund badge, some people, I don't do this, but some people have their whole build based on items, and like using fire flowers, and like all this stuff. And this gives you 75% of the price back when you use items for 1 BP. This just saves coins. Like, I don't know what is everyone's deal, but this is a great badge. The only reason I don't have it higher is because I don't use items very often. But this is a great badge, and I just don't understand why it's so on so many people's lists. And now we have HP plus P, which I went on a whole rant about earlier, and yes. HP plus and FP plus are next. These are, I use these quite a bit actually, because I always upgrade my badge points. I don't upgrade HP and FP. So if I need an extra HP and FP for some, actually I upgrade my FP to like 30 by the end of the game usually. But these two badges are nice because like if you decided to do badge points and you need a little bit HP and FP for a boss fight or something, these are nice. So I think they're good badges. Hammerman is next. If you really like hammers for some reason, this badge could go way higher on the list, but I don't see why I would use hammer over jump. There's only like one hammer that I find worth using in this game, and that's why I just don't like Hammerman. I don't really get the point. Now we have P down, D up, which this, like I said, this is good if you have a defensive setup. Like, there's so many different setups in this game where I like to do like really low HP offensive setup where I do as much damage as possible, end the battle as much as possible, and have tons of badges equipped. But if you want to go for a defensive setup and just make so you can never die, then like having P down, D up is amazing. Having defense up is amazing. Damage, dodge, close call, all that stuff. And like I said, I like evasion better. So if I'm going to be buffing myself, it's not going to be by lowering my attack to do so. And this is not a bad badge. I think it's good, and it's not like with partners where I feel like just partners will die and it's not a big deal. But with Mario dies, your game is over. So having some extra defense is nice. Same with, I'm also putting defense plus right here. So I think that this is the same deal. It's just a lot more BP, but you don't lose a physical attack. Physical attack. Physical damage. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I just think that this is not amazing, but still good. Then we have Power Jump, which is not a bad ability, but there's Power Bounce in this game. Power Bounce is so much better than Power Jump, like infinitely better. But Power Jump is nice during Chapter 1 for that little bit of time you have it, but there are still much better jumps other than Power Jump, and I even think that what's this called? Power Hammer? Power Smash. I think Power Smash is still better even because this one isn't as outclassed as Power Smash is. Power Smash is next because this is one of the better hammers. It's better than some of these other ones that we have, like Ice Hammer and Head Rattle and Hammer Throw. I think it's still good. It's good for doing damage. At the top of whatever tier this is, C tier, Bowser tier, S-A-B, wait, S plus S-A. Oh, wait, this is B tier that we're on. So, like, C, like, these aren't even that bad. They're still in B tier. They're just, this isn't even average at this point. These are still good. Like, these are the average badges right here. These are the good badges. So this isn't even that bad. At the top of Bowser tier, though, we have Piercing Blow. It ignores defense, which is nice for hammer attack. This is great. This would be great if you buy it before like Chapter 2. Can you even buy it before Chapter 2? I'm not sure. But if you have this, you can like kill clefts and stuff, which is nice. It's nice. Although I still prefer using Earth Tremor or something to deal with that. Then next we have Heart Finder. I love Heart Finder and Flower Finder because, like I said, I don't have that much HP, and just having some HP after battle is nice, and I like it. Wait, sorry, this isn't Grodus tier, no, A tier. Some people say this isn't good, but like, you can, depending on the enemy, you can get like 8 HP back after battle. Maybe not 8, but like 5 HP back after battle. And when my HP is only 10, that's like after every battle restoring half your health. And I think that for me, that's good. Item Hog. Item Hog. Where is Item Hog? I think it's this one, yeah. It's like Heartfinder, but you drop items, which is really good in the Pit of 100 Trials because you will get items a lot and you can be better off. And just when dropping, like, especially if your build is based on items, then having Refund and Item Hog and like double dip, perfect, great build right there. But like with Heartfinder, it's like, well, with like Heartfinder, it's like, well, I don't really like having a lot of HP, so Heartfinder is helpful, and it is because I like to use BP. BP is way better than HP in my opinion. So I like Heartfinder, and Item Hog would be higher on my list, like I said, if I like using items. I don't use items very often, and same with Refund. Refund would probably be in this tier, probably even higher than Item Hog, maybe, if I used items a lot. But the reason I have this high is because in the Pit of 100 Trials, it's nice, and I like it. Then we have Quake Hammer, which is essentially Earth Tremor, but that costs FP. This is nice, since I love Earth Tremor. But this is not a must-have badge. You can use Earth Tremor instead. But I still think this is a good enough Hammer badge that if you like Hammer, this is great. Okay, then we have Ice Power, which is very situational, but in those situations, it's amazing. For 1 BP, you take less damage from fire enemies, you deal more damage to them, and you can jump on them. It just gives you tons of abilities. And sure, like, there's like very few fire enemies, like they're only in Chapter 5 and Chapter 8. But this is still a great badge for those enemies. Then we have Pretty Lucky, which what I like to do is I like to have a bunch of damage, and I don't like the defensive setup because I have 10 HP. And even if I have defense, it's not helping me that much because I'll die anyway. So I really like the evasion badges on Mario. Now, I don't have 10 HP with my partners, right? Because that's not how it works. It's different because you upgrade them, right? But for Mario, I love these evasion badges because they work with my build. So Pretty Lucky is great. And, I mean, if you have 2 of these badges equipped, which isn't that hard to get 2 of them, without even having to try, you already are evading like 1/5 of attacks. And, I mean, it helps you, like if you have like a Repel Cape, Dodgy Fog, or Lucky Day, or Booze Sheet, or Close Call, you can just stack all those, and you can make so you like barely get hit with anything. Okay, then we have Zap Tap. Some people don't realize how good this badge is. 1, you deal damage to enemies that hit you. 2, you can nullify multi-target attacks. 3, fuzzies and swoopers, they can't damage you because when they hit you, they get hit. They can't like suck on you or whatever. And last of all, this allows you to prevent bandits from stealing from you. So I think this is a grab bag of a badge, a grab badge if you want to put it that way. And it's good. It's a bit expensive and it's situational, but in those situations, it's great. Then we have Timing Tutor. I don't know why everyone puts this in like F tier or D tier, because if you haven't played the game, you don't know how to use stylish commands yet. And I mean, at first, this is a boon of a badge. Like, you can learn how to use all of the stylish commands just with this badge, and it's really cheap for 1 BP. And once you get the hang of stylish commands, you have way more SP. Like, your SP gain is exponential compared to without stylish commands. So being able to learn stylish commands with this, super useful. Yes, so yeah. Then we have the last badge on this tier, which is Sleepy Stomp. Sleep is the strongest status ailment in this game, which is weird because in a lot of games it is terrible. But with Sleep, you get you can jump on enemies and like completely stop them from doing anything. Well, you might be asking, well, why do you put Shrink Stomp and Soft Stomp so low? Well, one, it makes them stop doing everything, and this just weakens them a bit. Whereas if I want to be weakening an enemy, I might as well kill them. If I want to stop an enemy from doing anything, I'm going to use Sleepy Stomp. And Sleepy Stomp is super good on Amazing Daisies and stuff. So I think that Sleepy Stomp deserves to be this high. Okay, now we go to the Luigi tier, and I am going to put Flower Finder as the first one on here. Flower Finder is amazing. You can get 3 to 5 FP after battle. What I do is I use Flower Finder and I sustain FP, because once I have Flower Finder, it gives you 3 to 5 FP per battle or whatever. I use that amount of FP I get from Flower Finder. That's how much FP I tell myself I'm going to use in the next battle to kill all the enemies. So if I get 5 FP, I'll use something like Fiery Jinx. I think that's 5 FP. Something like that. Or like, I don't know, like Shell Slam or whatever. Not Shell Slam. Power Shell. There we go. To be able to kill the enemies. And I mean, yes, I can use Sweet Treat, but using Flower Finder is really helpful for me, because then I can just kill enemies and have enough FP for the next battle. Power Rush P. On low health, this allows you to, for 1 BP, deal 2 extra damage with your partners. So this is really good for like the Peril Partner and what's the other one called? Critical. I don't even know. I can't even remember what it's called anymore, the build that people use. But this allows you to like use that and deal a bunch of damage to your partners. And I think Power Rush is the D thing. Power Rush P. Let me look. It is the D thing. That was right. So Power Rush P. I don't know why it's like a D. I don't understand that, but Power Rush P, that lets you deal 2 extra damage when you're on low health, and that's good. Mega Rush, same idea. It on low HP, it deals even more damage, but this isn't good for a Peril Partner setup. So what's good? This is if Mario is on 1 HP, it deals a bunch of damage. Putting Mario on 1 HP is a terrible idea. Whereas if you have a partner on 1 HP and you swap him out and kill the enemies, good. And you can, then they can do the damage, and then you can swap a partner that has health, like a ton of health, in, and you can have just dealt like a billion damage. And now that I'm saying this, I'm going to put Power Rush P above. But Mega Rush is really risky with Mario. You have to have like 1 health, and it's really not the best idea. So then after Mega Rush and Power Rush P, we have Spike Shield. This is great. It allows you to jump on spiked enemies without having to waste hammers. So I'm going to put on Spike Shield, and I'm going to put on Jumpman. And I mean, if there wasn't like Multi-Bounce and Power Bounce, if those weren't in the game, I'd be like, why would I ever use Spike Shield? I could just use a hammer. But since those are such dominant abilities, Spike Shield's amazing. Like, it's super good. Then we have Last Stand, where this is really good. Since like this badge and Close Call, since I usually am on low health, like I've like, well, not usually on low health, but if I get on low health, I'm screwed without these badges because of how I play with like 10 health. I mean, it usually works for me because of how many badges, but like Last Stand helps a lot for me. Close Call, same idea. Close Call saved me 8 times in the Pit of 100 Trials on one of my runs. 8 times from dying. This Close Call badge is insane. Like, I love this badge so much. Although, I mean, if you're not using a setup where you have super low health and you're not being kind of risky like I do, then this is not a great badge. But it is a great badge for me. And it's really cheap. So next is damage dodge. Whereas partners and stuff, partners, I think that these 3 badges are equally useful. Damage dodge prevents enemies from dealing more damage. And with these, they're super expensive because I think damage dodge, how it works is if you defend, it essentially busts your guard command. And I have to hit guards like every single time or else I'll die. And with this, that's what I do. Like, it's amazing. And with these ones, they're super expensive. Whereas this is pretty cheap and I can just guard damage. Whereas on these ones, I think they're all like equal because partners don't need to survive because you can have a ton of them. I mean, in some battles, I mean, yes, there are better partners. Like, I don't want the worst partners, right? But you can always swap out partners even if they're weaker than another partner. And I don't think it's good enough damage dodge P, whereas damage dodge I think is good. Power rush, like I said, actually I'm going to put this lower. I want to put it with ahead of Mega Rush. It's really risky with Mario. I don't think it's the best idea to be using Power Rush with Mario, but if you can execute it right, it's good. It's really good. Okay, then we have, I think this is the... Oh, never mind. This is by far the best hammer command in the game, Fire Drive. It is beloved by challenge runners, and I really like it, even though I don't have time to be a challenge runner. I have too much to do in my life right now. But the attack is very strong, especially in the Pit of 100 Trials. But for casual players, it isn't quite as good. But Fire Drive is just a great ability. It's like Vivian's Fiery Jinx, and that is one of the best damage abilities in the game, so it's same idea. Then we have Double Dip and Double Dip P. I think Double Dip P is a little bit easier because Mario's more powerful. Using Double Dip with Mario isn't as good of an idea, whereas using it with your partners is better because they usually have less to do. But Double Dip is just great. I mean, I don't use items that much, but I mean, if you stack Double Dip, you can have Triple Dip and stuff. And you can use tons of items. Like, think of what you can do. Like, if you use, like, a Refund and Double Dip and Item Hog and all those item type ones, you can get, like, powerful attacking items and just spam them. Like if you Triple Dip Shooting Stars or something like that, it's good. It's good. You can clear whole enemy screens. And just Double Dip is always useful. Like, even if you just want, sometimes you just need really, like, to use multiple items, and it's great. I mean, I don't use these commands that much. Like, I would put it like, I don't use Double Dip and Double Dip P that often, but when I do, it's really good. So anyway, then we have the second best jump ability in the game. That is Multibounce. It's very inexpensive, and it can let you hit all enemies. It is really good, and it is the most usable and cheap multi-target command in the game in terms of BP and FP. So I think it's like better than Fire Drive because it's so cheap. And since it's a jump, and I am biased toward jumps, and so I just think it's good. It's not like the best badge in the game, but it is the second best jump command. So I think it's really good. Then we have Power Plus. I love Power Plus. I really love Power Plus. Because, like I said, I love doing damage, and it just raises your attack by 1. It's great. P up, D down. This is really good. But, like I always like to attack with Mario more. So, wait, nope, that's wrong. Nope. That's not what I'm trying to say. That is not what I'm trying to say. P up, D down. Sorry, I like attacking with my partners more, because what happens is, like I've been saying, these apply to all your partners. Like this one, This applies the P up, D down, P applies to 7 characters, right? 7, yeah, 7. Whereas these two only apply to Mario. So in this case, I think that these badges aren't as good as their partner counterparts. However, these badges are still amazing. They're still amazing. Now, next we have Flower Saver. Combine Flower Saver with Flower Finder and Sweet Treat, and you can just spam abilities, and it is amazing. I just love it so much. Then we have Power Plus P. Power Plus P is great. I mean, just these cost a ton of FP though. That's the only problem. Not FP, BP. That's why these are, and that's why this costing a ton of BP is different than this, because this buffs 7 characters, like I said. So I think that Power Plus P is really good. One of the best in the game. Then we have Jumpman. Jumpman costs 2 BP, and it buffs jumps, and jumps are essentially the only thing I ever use. So, unless I use Fire Drive, which doesn't happen that often. So, this is just amazing. And then we have All or Nothing, which you get really late in the game, but in this case, I'm going to ignore it, because you still have the whole pit of 100 trials, you still have the final boss, and all this stuff. For 4 BP, Mario and all of his partners deal an extra damage as long as you hit the command right. This is the best. I think I would say this is the best attack buffing badge in the game besides P down, not P down, P up, D down, P. I think that's what it's called. These are weird badges. Because that just lowers defense, and partners don't need defense, and it's cheap. But this one affects partners and Mario, and it buffs damage, and it's really amazing. Then we have Mega Rush P, which Peril Partner is a really, 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 really overpowered tactic, and Mega Rush P is what helps you do that. But if you're not using that tactic, then it's not great. Why is this Happy Heart P? And why are these still here? Did I just forget them? Well, people are probably worried about this. This is going like down here. I thought I put these on here. Did I not? Okay, well, this is going just above HP drain, and this is going just above here. Anyway, sorry about that. I could have sworn I put that. Anyway, we have 4 more badges, but this Mega Rush P is great for Peril Partner, and it is really good. It's just a very powerful badge. Then Flower Saver P. If you equip a couple of Flower Saver P, you can make things literally cost 0 FP. You can make, like, if you have Flower Saver P and Flower Finder, I was able to kill whole battles and have net FP of max every single battle. Like, I never even used FP. I was able, after I was at a point in the game, I had Flower Saver P and Flower Finder, and I just had 10 FP. 10 FP, 10 HP, Flower Saver, Flower Finder. Perfect. And these don't even cost that much. I mean, for what they do, they're amazing. So yeah. Then we have the last badge on the Luigi tier, on the S tier, and that is P up, D down, P. So good. Just for lowering some defense, which they don't even need anyway, the partners, you get an extra attack point on all the partners for 2 BP. So good. So freaking good. And then we have the Flavio tier, because Flavio is the best. And he's obviously the best character in the game. He's so powerful. It's not like he's cowardly and weak at all. He is more powerful than Cloud's Omnislash. And Knights of the Round. He is more powerful than Power Bounce. Flavio is the god of Thousand Year Door. And that is why we have 2 godly badges that go up there. And the first one is Quick Change. Quick Change costs 7 BP, but you can, like, do crazy things. the implications of this badge. You can have one partner on peril, use the peril partner technique, then swap them out and swap them with a full health partner. You can swap partners if they're dead, and you don't have to. It's just, you can swap partners out without taking a turn. This is completely overpowered. Even 7 BP, I would pay like 10 BP for this badge. It'd probably be on a lower tier if it was 10 BP, but still, 7 BP, you are able to break the game, essentially. But there is one badge that doesn't only break the game, but it breaks my mind on how they didn't think that this would be the most overpowered thing in the game. This badge, Power Bounce, you can bounce forever. I two-shotted Bone Tail because of Power Bounce. And that was because I messed up. You can hit 50 damage with this thing super easily. Then combine this with Power Lift and all of these, like, attack buffing badges, and you can instantly kill most bosses, and Bone Tail and the Shadow Queen will go out so easily. 3 BP. 3 BP for this. 3 BP. That's it. That's all you need to break the game. 3 BP. 1 level up. I think anyone who's played this game can understand where I'm coming from on this. Anyway, that's enough talking about Power Bounce. These are all the badges in the Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. I hope you enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. I'm sorry this was long. Thank you for staying till the end if you did. This is a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And thank you all for watching. Please go to rpgrank.com for more articles, and go to our channel for videos every Saturday. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.